So let's start our discussion, engagement responsibilities. Today we'll discuss what is attest engagements, audit engagements, professional duties as a CPA, assurance services and quality controls as a CPA we should have. What are the meanings of these terminologies? I'm going to explain you in the next slide. This is a table. This is some summary of whole the discussion that we are going to do. See, once you become CPA in America, you or outside the world, you are licensed practitioner, like a doctor. Doctor, once he or she get a license, they can do surgeries and whatever they feel they relate to. Same way, once we get the CPA, we pass the CPA exams and we fulfill the experience requirement, so we become a CPA. Once you become a CPA, so I will call you a practitioner, means in a technical way, and your core job is audit. So you will become an external auditor. You will go in different companies and you will be responsible for signing the report. This is called audit services. Scope of audit is generic. We don't need to define. For example, if a client comes to you and he or she says that I want an audit from your company, so I or you don't need to ask what it includes, right? It is a generic or a by default. There are some roles of an auditor which we will keep discussing in this report, But other than audit, we are very important as a CPA, because if we sign some papers, people believe that it is authentic, it is reviewed by an expert. So a lot of banks, government institutions and credit rating companies and other companies will approach a CPA and they will ask them to sign and attest some reports which we don't consider as audit. So audit is different. Other than audit, whatever we do is attestation. Attestation is a term, broad term, which you can also classify as non-audit services, means which are not audit services, which be attestation services. What could be those? Just think. Suppose I want to start a business and I made a business plan and I want you to review and endorse that there is no loopholes in these business plans. So actually I'm asking for an attestation service from you. One is review. Suppose you went to a doctor and the doctor give you some prescription and analysis. And generally we assume that if we have a second opinion from another doctor, that can give us a better look. So same way, when we get an audit report and an attestation report, generally we go to another auditor, right? This auditor is not actually doing anything audit or attest. He is just doing a review that consider as an attestation exercise. So he will say, oh yes, based on this report, I assume that this can. He will not held responsible, because if you did audit and I am reviewing it, I'm not talking about partner review. Generally in audit firm we use this term partner review, means you've compiled something and then you went to your audit partner. This is different. This is audit, But if your audit partner issue audit report and this report comes to me, so I am actually not doing audit, I am reviewing his work, so he is responsible to give assurance and I am going to supplement his opinion or I will contradict with his opinion, right? So this is called attestation services. Now we will compare auditing versus attestation. As I told you that we don't need to define the scope of audit, because audit is a generic. What is actually the audit? We have to inspect the documents, right? And we have to express an opinion about it, right? This is for sure. Like any audit report has no opinion, so means audit is not complete yet. So whenever we sign a contract between a client and an auditor, so the reason is they want to give an audit report, which will have some specific paragraphs. So today is a beginning, so every time we will learn what is an audit report, what are the formats, what is an engagement letter and other stuff. So, and all big four firms are using the same template which is given by AICPA, so which are in your book as an extract. So it's highly practical. So I will start from here. Auditing, first of all, there are three dimensions. So now you have to assume that you are an auditor, you work in an audit firm, and how you see an audit. So there are three prerequisites that you should have. There is some general things that you should have before the audit, right? Once you accept the audit and you go on the workplace, so there are some norms for it. And once you finish, then you have to report to the shareholders, stakeholders. Then, so these three are standards, right? General standards, we will start that before the audit. We should have a proficiency and training in auditing skills, means I should know what is audit file, what is engagement letter, what is working papers, and how to prepare them, what is assertions, later I will explain more in detail. This is a current portion of an audit file, this is a permanent portion of an audit file. So there are some ways that we have to know before we go. So we should have a training and proficiency. Proficiency means expert in auditing. I may not be an expert to audit a bank or an insurance company, but I should be expert in auditing, like as a process, right? So a field can be anything, because tomorrow we can join oil and gas, we can be in the bank, we can be in other sectors. So at that time I should have my basic proficiency in auditing skills, not in industry related. That's okay. If I am experienced in banking audit and I am going to audit a bank, that's good. It's value addition, But still, if I never work for bank for an audit, I have proficiency. I know what is auditing, how to do, what are the documents, and what steps I have to take. This is called proficiency. So we all should be proficient in auditing skills. Independence is very important, right? In mental attitude. Mental attitude, there are two attitudes that we have. One is physical attitude that we show, and one is mental attitude. For example, there are some boys, they are scared from their wives, right? So when they meet the other boys, they show that they are not scared, they are very brave, So it gives a term independence in appearance, Actually, in mind they are scared, but in appearance they are showing that they are independent. It can be opposite as well. So you should be independent in actual, not in show off. So maybe you are brother, sisters, you are husband, wife, you are mother, son, father, daughter. These are the relations. These are create conflict of interest. If they come in a position that you are an auditor and your dad is in the company, so you have to quit from this kind of assignment because conflict of interest will come. So we have to make sure that we are properly independent, we have no pressure, we have no association, we have no interest with the client. So we have to keep it very clean. And there are more we will study later, that we should not have a lunch or dinner with the client if we are auditors. We should not accept their vouchers, discount vouchers, coupons, or layer trip to other countries. Internal auditing is different. Internal auditing follow IIA standards, Institute of Internal Audit, but the code of ethics is common for both. Like